Victor Drath?
I believe in solutions, not problems.
Coming up on Crossfire Collectibles, we have the G.I. Joe and the Transformers Victor Drath custom prototype figure that was never made. Stick around. What's up and welcome to Crossfire Collectibles. Today's video, we have a already built custom. We're not actually going to do this on camera. However, we will give you the tutorial for it. And this is the G.I. Joe and the Transformers Collectors Club unproduced prototype of Victor Drath. So we did a little research, did some hunting for the last couple years to try to find one maybe that popped up online, and no luck. So we gave in and said, to hell with it, let's make our own. And that's what we did. And here he is. So he was a little complex. It took some time to actually figure out these parts, and I don't know why, because they're very simple. But I don't know, we're gonna go ahead and explain all of this, and I'll go over a parts list with you as well as a little background. So let's go ahead and get on into this. But first, please subscribe to the channel. So, a little on Victor Drath. So, he was a minor antagonist, you know, from the Generation 1 cartoon. He popped up in an episode called Only Human. In this one, he set out to find Old Snake, which was actually Cobra Commander, you know, in disguise, to seek out the technology of creating a synthoid. And if you remember the synthoids from the G.I. Joe episodes, you know, then that's what Victor Drath was after. So, his plan was to capture the Autobots, basically absorb their life force and place it into synthoids, while he took control of the actual Autobots themselves and sent them out to steal neutronium. And then he wanted to destroy Autobot City. Of course he failed, and Victor Drath was never seen again, but he was kind of a cool character, and I did want this figure. Back when they did BotCon 2016, these were actually revealed. There was a few of them revealed. You know, you had Victor Drath, of course, Springer, and Ultra Magnus. These were supposed to be Wave 2 of the Collector Club exclusives for Only Human, and they never happened. When BotCon 17 showed up, FunPub lost the rights to the Transformer fan club. But somewhere out there, Hasbro still has these molds. You know they do. Now, I doubt we'll ever get them, but it would be cool. And you know there were some prototypes made because they obviously showed up at the show. There was a little, I think, pretty much hand-detailed stuff on them, you know, like the lines, like especially on Drath around his collar, his boots, and some on the sides. You know, that stuff looked like it was very painted, or it didn't look like it was done by a machine at all. But, so we went ahead and just painted them on them, you know, big deal. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and go over the parts list with you. So, first up, you had the body. So, from the body, we used a Cobra Commander 50th Anniversary in 2015, version 54. For this figure, we had to use the arms, the hands, the upper torso, and the upper legs. So, you have those, pretty much that, and, you know, just throw some paint on it. For the cape itself, it was from the 2009 Cobra Commander version 43 from the Rise of Cobra line. That was just a cape, you know, it was a jacket on Cobra Commander, or his, you know, long coat part of it, and we needed that, so we actually had that in fodder, and we were happy, so threw that on him, and we got our cape. The lower legs and the feet, they belong to the 25th Anniversary Zartan version 13. That was a 2017 figure, pretty simple, you know, not much to him, pop the legs and feet, and that's what we used for his feet. And then we needed his lower torso and that little skirt. And that we got off the Pit Commando, and that was a version 1 figure from 2009. It was also a single figure pack. So we had to get that piece and paint that up. The process began. So basically what we did is we had to take our figures, you know, that were stripped down and ready to boil and pop. Threw them into the saucepan, boiled up the water, pulled the figures out, popped them, got the pieces we need. Then we went outside, and there we, I guess, began with our first coat of paint. And for that, I just used a simple white matte spray paint. The Gundam markers, when you use them, is what I normally like to use. They didn't, the white wouldn't attract, especially to the 50th anniversary Cobra Commander too well, because he was all black. So we would have needed probably 5 coats to get that done. And I figured twice, you know, with a bit of spray paint, and that'll do it. And that's what we did. So we got them painted up, and then it came to assembly. So we went ahead and put the body together, minus the head. We'll get to the head in a bit. And threw everything on him, but the cape as well. We kept the cape off. So we started doing all the paint, and then we went in and did the details. You know, we added some brown. We added some of that, I guess, violetish, you know, purplish blue. We added some light blue around the neck area, gray on the boots, and, you know, gave him some trim, you know, the brown around the skirt and stuff like that. And there's a very slight trim around his collar as well. Painted on that little button pattern on his jacket, I guess. And then we did the cape. You know, the cape all black with the blue on the inside. So we went brown on the outside, and then a very kind of a burgundy-ish color on the inside. And it seemed to work out pretty well, and we're pretty happy with it. So when you spin him around, see, this is what threw me off when I went to find, you know, what parts were for this figure, were the holes in the arms right here. I didn't pay attention to them, and I should have, because that was probably the longest piece I had to figure. What is that? What are they using? It's obviously a part they used from, you know, some other figure, but what was it? Anyways, I figured it out. It was the Rise of Cobra Commander. And then we threw that on. There are no sleeves on it. You know, Victor Drath did have sleeves in the cartoon. And I was kind of bummed about that one. You know, we could always try to make them later, but I wanted to go kind of as accurate as I could with their prototype figure and the parts they used, and that's what I did. I guess all except for the knife sheath on the leg right here, which I decided just to keep on, and I'll throw a knife in there if I want to. The design itself wasn't exactly like the cartoon that they made, but, you know, it's pretty close. Even the other figures they didn't exactly match, but they look good. Anyways, we got them together, and I'm like, all right, so we need the head, and the head belongs to Footloose. And I was like, well, I'm not going to destroy a Collector Club, you know, subscription figure just to get that head. But luckily, Kobe over at AVAX Lab has some, and we got one of those from him. So we just got that in the mail, painted it up, and we threw together our Victor Drath. And here he is. So I guess we're pretty happy with him. He turned out a little bit better than I thought, but he was also quite difficult. Just, you know, having the steady hand to, you know, do that design, you know, especially the collar and the button patch and then the side stuff and all that. It was kind of a pain, but we did it, and it's not the best in the world, but he's ours, and we're happy with him. But, he's going to go on our Only Human shelf, and yes, I have an Only Human shelf. So we'll go ahead and show you some of the rest of them. We'll bring them out and show you guys what we have set up. Alright, so here is kind of our little setup. Some are legit, some are custom. So we have, you know, our RC Ultra Magnus Springer, Rodimus Prime, and Old Snake in the background. These are some other customs I went ahead and did. I do have the others prototypes in a shelf, you know, encased, as well as the Old Snake, but he's still carded. They actually did produce him with 2 of these advanced bats. So I do have those in the shelf. But this is our little setup that we're actually trying to, you know, look forward to having in there, and I'm happy with it. You know, it's a little bit of a crossover. We got to see it early days in the 80s, you know, G.I. Joe and the Transformers crossing over, and it was a cool twist on things, and I was happy they did it. It was really fun. Alright, so with that being said, let's go ahead and throw him up on the turntable, give you guys a full 360 view, and give you some final thoughts.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Be sure to check out our previous videos. A link will always be pinned in the comments.
We now return to the Transformers.
Alright, so here it is, the G.I. Joe and the Transformers Victor Drath Unproduced Prototype Custom by me. Very cool. Happy to add this to the collection. This was years in the making. You know, I wanted this figure once we saw it, and it just never came out. You know, sadly, you know, with losing the rights and the Transformers fan club closing, Hasbro not putting them out, you know, it's like, what better way can you do besides searching for the real one, which I did find once, and the owner just wasn't willing to budge from it. So it took a while, but we made our own, and here he is. You know, the parts, they're pretty simple to find. They're not too hard. If you need to get that Footloose head, like I said, check out AVAX Lab. They have you know, a version you can just buy, you know, a blank, and paint it up yourself. It's, you know, not too time consuming. It's enjoyable, and you take more pride in doing things that you create yourself. So very cool. We'll have plenty more customs coming your way, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please, if you did, like always, leave that giant thumbs up, subscribe, tickle that bell so you're notified when we post future videos. Be sure to follow us on social media, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.